You know, BlueBladerBot, I'm getting the impression you don't like the fact that I covered you. You know, because of the fact that you decided to comment on 2 of my videos on the same day. Here's him in the comments of my recent video on a cursed Jesse saying, "Boy really tryin' Amber Heard the bed shit out of copyright law." I have absolutely no idea what that means. And here's him in the comments of my most recent Debunking the Nerd commentary going, "Bro, can y'all have any fun?" Well, yeah, I find responding to videos with bad argumentation fun. That's why I began doing it largely. For those unaware, BlueBladerBot is somebody who I've covered previously. Essentially, I made a short 5-minute commentary on his Mario 2 review about a year and a half ago now. He responded to it a little while later via comment, which is his right. However, his comment had some issues. Preface: one of the first things I said in the original video was I beat the lost levels. I even did a full video on it. Funny you accidentally left that part out. Well, yeah, because that holds no relevance over the video I'm covering. You beating lost levels doesn't make your claims about Mario 2 USA any more or less valid, now does it? And by the way, you beat the lost levels through using the rewind feature on the Nintendo Switch. That is not me speculating or anything. We can see that in the footage he uses for his review.
Well, that and it was far too similar disc system despite only being released in Japan. So I guess Nintendo realized where Luigi jumps higher, but he slips and slides as well. Yes, he is slippery. His high jump allows for him to get to areas much easier than his brother can. Faster and only stop popping out of pipes when you're on top of the pipes. Granted, they did that before, but you had to wait a while before they would get impatient and start chasing you. And I really hope you love either bottomless pits or long stretches of nothing with the occasional Koopa Troopa in order to not lose my very rare power-up. Which, yes, the power-ups are in fact extremely rare, and more likely to get a poison mushroom. Just to progress. The game will just tell you, fuck you, you gotta lower your defenses just to make the enemy happy. Kinda like whenever you stand up against your bullies or tormentors in high school and your authority figures just tell you to ignore them. There are also the lost levels the American version was named after. 8 fucking times. For the secret stages, these levels just suck. The game does come off as a little too easy at times. Hell, according to sources, even Mr. Miyamoto was allegedly depressed when making this game. This game wasn't made available in the States because Nintendo feared fans would feel betrayed and hate Mario after he just saved the gaming industry. Despite this, the game was too hard for its own good and doesn't have a lot going for it beyond that. This feels like a ROM hack and not a good one.
Now don't get me wrong, I have nothing against playing with save states. However, it does make the challenge far less severe, as the consequences for failure are minimized much more. Essentially, if you wish to argue that I cut context through not bringing this up, I can argue your response cut context for not bringing up what I did. Especially given there are gamers who would react differently to knowing this run used what are essentially save states compared to if the run had not included them. GameChamp 3000, for example, once said that she prefers doing single runs as opposed to runs where she engages in save scumming, because she does not find the latter to be impressive.
There has been a decent amount of confusion as to why I do full game damageless runs as opposed to using save files as checkpoints. There are a few reasons. First, remember what I said about the routing. I had to route this baby for weeks to maximize the odds of success, specifically because the odds of failure increase exponentially the longer you have to play. Doing any individual section of the game allows for good luck as a valid strategy, and in a JRPG like Pokemon, it's very easy to brute force good luck. What's a very interesting strategy game in the long term is basically a slot machine minigame in the short term. Without checkpoints, you're being explicitly tested on your knowledge of the game. Luck is only a factor insofar as you fail to eliminate it.
Hell, there are some who would not be impressed by you beating the game in this manner at all. I'm not saying I'm one of them, for the record. However, people whose attitude towards save states is similar to the one Slow Beef expressed in this old Retsupre video do exist.
There is no skill in SNES 9X in replaying the same thing over in SNES 9X and reloading save states over SNES 9X over and over again. A monkey could do SNES 9X. A monkey could do this. A kid could do this. It doesn't matter.
First off, say my name right. It's BlueBladerBot. Yeah, I made a mistake here. I apologize. Second, I'll happily admit I didn't do enough research on this game. I was in a bad mood and really wanted to get the video over with so I could talk about Mario 3. Well, points for at the very least admitting that he didn't do enough research. Third, I chose Luigi because he takes comparatively less time to pick up stuff than Peach. Yeah, and I argued that wasn't a wise decision given the level you were on and the issues you were having. I don't see what mentioning this accomplishes here. Fourth, the word unfair was never uttered. Quit putting words in my mouth. But the word communicates the exact same meaning as what you were trying to express in the review. So what exactly is the problem here?
You are so afraid, Seth. You are so afraid of what everyone thinks of you, and you're judging them? You should be ashamed.
Wait, who am I judging?
Obama, Seth. Okay, how do you think he handled the hurricane?
I thought he did good.
Really? Because I thought he did well.
Yes, it's not a word you specifically said, but for point of comparison, if you were to say you enjoyed a game and I were to say that you liked it, that wouldn't be me putting words in your mouth, because all I'm doing is expressing the same idea you already were, just using different terms. Fifth, how come you only commented on like a third of the video? Better yet, why didn't you tag me? Talking shit like I wouldn't find out? Because I only had issues with those parts of your video. The rest of your review, I believed, was perfectly fine. And as for why I didn't tag you, that's because I viewed it as unnecessary. I like the ending part, though, because it implies that I was attempting to keep my dislike of your review under the radar, hence why I decided to upload a public video criticizing it. Now, that same day, he came into my Discord server and began arguing with me, which is completely allowed for the record. However, he decided to do so in the introduction chat. The following is the conversation we had. BlueBladerBot, heard you were talking shit like I wouldn't find out. Toganium, do you not know what a commentary is? Me. I did a 5-minute video criticizing your review. That's not talking shit. And if I didn't want you to find out, it's rather odd I decide to do so in a public YouTube video where I address you directly several times. BlueBladerBot. I ain't even mad about what the dude said. The fact he got my name wrong and only commentated on like 3 of my 10-minute video, and the fact the dude was punching down is what pissed me off. Me. Also, if you want to continue this conversation, please do it in general. BlueBladerBot. Fuck off. Me. And he left. However, I want to stress that none of this is why I decided to cover BlueBladerBot again. Instead, the main reason is because I watched his Sonic the Hedgehog 2 review, and I noticed quite a few similarities between it and Some Call Me Johnny's old review.
Sonic 2 managed to meet deadlines and come out on November 24th, 1992, also known as Sonic Tuesday.
On November 24th, 1992, a day dubbed as Sonic Tuesday.
The Death Egg.
What? But this time, he's got something much bigger planned. The Death Egg.
What? Aquatic Ruin's a fun level too, especially for being the water level. In fact, if you're skilled enough, you can just skip the water entirely.
This is pretty much the water level of this particular game. If you're good enough, you can never actually touch the water. What's the point of a water level if you can never actually touch the water?
Casino Night Zone is where another staple of the Sonic series originates. Gambling.
Casino Night Zone. And here we're introduced to what will become a staple in the Sonic series. Compulsive gambling.
Now, Asterons aren't too bad. Easy to spot and even easier to avoid.
Now, Asterons aren't that big of a deal. They're easy to spot and they're incredibly easy to avoid if you prepare for it.
I also noticed some other similarities between his reviews and Johnny's videos. Here's a compilation I made.
Show me someone who doesn't know the overworld theme, and I will show you a lying liar who lies. Here's a hint. They're the same person.
Musically speaking, I mean, come on. Show me one person who doesn't at least know the overworld theme, and I will show you someone who is lying out of their ass.
Iceland is slippery. This place.
Iceland is slippery. Fuck this world.
And finally, we face off against the villainous Bowser, who on top of the usual fire breathing, tries to actually ass you this time, unaware that it breaks his own floor.
Not only does he bring back fireballs, but the motherfucker tries to actually ass stomp you. Unfortunately, his Bowser bomb is his one weakness. If you dodge it enough times, Bowser falls through his own floor and wham, the battle's over.
With one final stomp, Bowser breaks through the floor, where Mario can finally rescue Princess Peach/Toadstool, ending Super Mario Bros. 3.
But with one final whip attack, Dracula explodes with a fiery explosion, and by collecting the final red orb, you finished Castlevania.
And we immediately kill that speed with Marble Zone.
Marble Zone. And we immediately kill that nice buzz we have with Green Zone in this clunker of a level.
Anyway, my final thoughts are essentially that BlueBladerBot does still have the potential to be a good reviewer, and I do hope he can achieve this one day. However, if what I just played is anything to go by, he seems to have a bit of a problem of taking the words of others, which I'd recommend he get straightened out. Good night, and good luck.